know that I'm a how-to or a tipster or a strategy content creator in the Madden space, but honestly, when it comes to MUT, I'm a moron. I don't know anything about sets. I don't know where my power-up passes are stored. I don't keep track of any of that. I don't do ratings conversions. I don't do re-rolls. I don't know how the menus work. I barely can migrate the auction house. But there's an item at the quarterback position in Madden Ultimate Team that nobody is talking about, and I, for the life of me, cannot understand why, because this is probably the item that you should most take a look at right now as the game currently stands. Let's get into it. What is up, guys? Here from the Madden YouTube channel. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the quarterback item that is flying underneath the radar in Madden Ultimate Team 22 right now, and that card is, drumroll please,
let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
the quarterback scrambler Tom Brady. Now, I already can see it. You guys are mad at me in the chat. You're going to be telling me that I don't know anything. The comment sections are going to be on fire. I'm using this card right now. This is my favorite quarterback to use in Madden Ultimate Team right now.
You bum.
I think that this card might not be the scrambler that you find, you know, Lamar or Randall Cunningham or some of the other scrambling archetypes to be in this game. And it's not quite the passer that you would expect, you know, a gunslinger style quarterback or even a pass lead elite style quarterback to be. However, when you take a look at this item to me makes your offense the most potent that it can possibly be, no matter what style of offense you run. This quarterback item is a scrambler archetype. And if you take a look right here, it is its own power-up path. You can spend 3,005 training to upgrade all of the stats by one. Might be worth it to some of you, might not be for others, but it comes with a pre-baked stack of abilities that you cannot change. So if you take a look at this stack, it's going to get the Hot Route Master for 2 AP. Now, this is typically a 2 AP ability on a field general, which Tom Brady would normally be. But on top of that, he's going to get Identifier for 1, which is once again another field general ability for 1 AP. And then it gets Set Feet Lead for 1 AP. And this stack on its own is going to cost you a total of 4 AP, and you can go ahead and set up whatever X factor that you want. If I were being honest with you guys, I think that you could kind of go with Bazooka. Another one that is really under the radar is Gambler, because it's kind of like Gunslinger. You'll notice that it says faster passes that can't be picked off by AI defenders. So basically you're going to get Gunslingers while your guy is active, and if your opponent doesn't click on, you won't be intercepted. So that's a pretty good X factor. In fact, that's what I'm equipping on Tom Brady as we speak right now. However, I want to go ahead and pay attention to some of the other quarterbacks that are in the field general bucket and talk about their abilities. So let's go over to Tony Romo here. And this is the other item that's hot right now because it gets Hot Route Master and Gunslinger and is in the low 80s from a speed standpoint. And if we take a look at the abilities, again, Hot Route Master, like I mentioned, on a field general archetype is 2 AP. If you take a look at some of the other abilities, Identifier is 1 and Set Feet Lead is 2. So this is, again, a scrambling archetype quarterback with field general abilities, and he checks most of the boxes that you guys will like. So let's talk about it real quick. So normally on a field general, this cocktail of abilities of Hot Route Master, Identifier, and Set Feet Lead would cost you 5 AP. This is a scrambling archetype, as I've mentioned many times and will continue to say, and you're getting it for 4. Now, when you talk about what these abilities do, you've got Hot Route Master. That's an ability that is going to allow you to have extra routes at every position. I fully anticipate that this is going to be an ability that in the January AP update that's been rumored on Good Morning Madden, that I will see Hot Route Master go up in AP cost. So from a standpoint of a pre-baked set AP limit on a card, having Hot Route Master for 2 AP when the rumors are that this is going to go up in cost is something that I would highly recommend that you at least have this in your binder as a just in case. I think the door is open for EA to maybe bump up Hot Route Master, but not actually go individually into the card and change Tom Brady's Scrambler archetype Hot Route Master, meaning that there could be a lot of equity in this Hot Route Master at 2 AP if it sticks. Now, if EA doesn't change anything AP wise in January and it stays the same, it's still a really good value because you also get a velocity ability. As you can see here with the set feet lead, this is increased throwing power when leading bullet passes with your feet set. If you guys are enjoying this free YouTube content, I would strongly urge you to go over to my strategy website. GridironGameplansgg is your one-stop source for all things competitive Madden. Every week in our Vault Update, we take a look at the meta, or the most effective tactics available being used by pro players on the MCS circuit, breaking down not only how and why the pros do what they do, but most importantly, how you can counter those metas when you face them in online gameplay. On top of that, your subscription also includes any and every offensive and defensive game plan released on the website while your subscription is active, and access to our Discord server, where every single Wednesday, we have a live lab session covering the week's Vault content and any questions you guys have about Madden. So make sure you guys head over to GridironGameplansgg. $9.95 per month unlocks the entire website. Now, for me, I am traditionally a pocket passer. A lot of players out there that run bunch. You guys are mostly pocket passers. You only run when you have to. A lot of players in bunch either run a Hot Route Master with Dan Marino, or they run a gunslinger style quarterback with Randall Cunningham or formerly Josh Allen. Now, what I think is really cool about this is that if you really just make sure that you release the turbo button to set your feet when you're trying to scramble with this card, and did I mention he's a scrambler archetype? When you release the right trigger to set your feet, you can get those extra velocity passes. It's not quite like the roaming Deadeye glitch of years past, but if you just kind of remind yourself to release the turbo button just long enough that you can set your feet, then you'll be able to get that extra velocity when you're kind of quote unquote on the run. Now, when we go into his actual stats, this is a rather fast item. He's 86 speed, he's 91 throw power. Now, I've had some people ask me about this because I started running him on stream yesterday on my Twitch channel, and people were saying, does the 90 or 91 throw power, depending on whether or not you power him up or not, impact what you think of him? And my answer to that question was that I really think that the throw power maybe caps the distance that he could throw the ball. But again, when you talk about the ball getting from A to B, the set feet lead, giving that extra zip, is going to allow you to, fit those Hot Route Master corners, posts, crossers over the top or underneath of zone drops very, very easily. And really, for most people, they're not just chucking lobs down the field and hoping their receiver runs underneath of it for a rack touchdown. If you've got a beater, you've got a beater. So he's going to be just fine with this in terms of his abilities. Now, I'm not out here saying this is the best quarterback in the game. Like I said, there are quarterbacks out there like Romo that have Hot Route Master and Gunslinger. There are quarterbacks out there that are extremely fast with Gunslinger like Randall Cunningham. But what Tom Brady does for your team that no other item in MUT right now at the quarterback position can do is he completely loads up your offense with most of your AP. Because we have 14 AP to play with, you basically are only using 4 on this quarterback. That leaves you with 10 AP. So for me right now, I've got route techs on all my receivers to beat man or short in or slotto, depending on what offense you're running. I've got running back ability, and I've even got center ability to be able to block for this guy. In terms of saving AP and having some of the best abilities, not to mention the fact that being able to see the user is really, really key. I think people kind of just assume, oh, I know he's clicked onto the middle linebacker in 3-3-5 wide. Or, oh, hey, I see him actually move that guy and stand on the outside when he's in 2-4-5 odd. Or I see them moving their user. I don't need identifier. I think what a lot of players are forgetting with the identifier ability is that there are a lot of tendencies that you can pick up just by watching your opponent click around their formation pre-snap. Something, for instance, that you might see is that if they hover on a defensive player for a long time and then switch over to a nickel corner and then maybe switch over to their outside corner, or if they cycle a certain way through their players when they are running this with identifier, you're going to notice very, very quickly that this is something that is going to give you tells to their offense, meaning that, when your opponent maybe clicks onto that outside corner, maybe they're putting him into a cloud flat that is set to 30 yards, meaning there's no deep zone over the top. Or maybe when they click onto the defensive tackle, that tells you, oh, hey, he's putting him in a 3-rec, maybe he's run commit glitching me. Or, oh, hey, when he does this adjustment, he clicks onto an outside linebacker for a split second, that puts him in a purple zone set to 5 yards. These are things that you pick up on with the identifier, even if nobody physically moves on the field. So having that information available to you is going to then allow you to use that hot route master ability to better set up your route combos and be able to attack the seam, or honestly, you know, when you see the user, you can attack and put them in conflict better than if you don't know who they're using. I think to a lot of offenses or a lot of defenses, which are 4-man rush based, where your opponent might call cover 3 sky and then Tampa 2 and then maybe cover 6, and maybe they hop back into a match coverage and then they call cover 2, and you never see anybody moving around. So maybe one down they're on a linebacker, the next they're on a safety, the next they're on a nickel corner. You could pick up on those tells right away pre-snap based off of who they're using as well, even if they're not moving people around. So there's so much information available to you for such a cheap AP cost. Yeah, he doesn't get the crazy velocity of a pass lead elite on the run or a gunslinger on the run. But if you can set your feet and learn how to release the turbo button, not to mention he's a scrambling archetype, you know, you're gonna be able to move the pocket with him even without escape artist. He's kind of Josh Allen with more routes and not as good, you know, in terms of the gunslinger. Seffi Lead is definitely inferior gunslinger, but when you start to factor in that AP can be put on your wide receivers to get them more open with a route ability or aggressive catch ability, or you can load up your offensive line with pass protection abilities to make it so you can actually use him as a pocket passer, not have to run much, and use that set feet lead more to your ability. Or maybe load up your running back with, you know, different abilities like, say, for instance, leapfrog that we talked about here on the channel a few weeks back. This is an item that you really ought to have in your binder. If you don't want to use it, great, but I would recommend that you guys go and find a way to get him in your binder. And the reason that I say that is that, like I mentioned, if EA goes and changes the AP and they don't change Tom Brady, there's going to be a lot of equity in that card. And from what I know, this is a card that you either have to play house rules or solo challenges. Again, I told you I'm a MUT moron. I don't know which one it is, but I can tell you this much. If you go into Zero Chill, you go into the MUT mystery and you go down to the 92 overall house rules. So there's your answer. It's a house rules item. You could get an out of position player. This is where the Tom Brady item lives. And you could put 2 ornaments into this particular set, and it'll give you a fantasy pack that will allow you to choose any of the out of position items. And I would highly recommend that you have this Tom Brady ready to roll, because if they change the AP in January, that could end up being a card that a lot of players are going to be wanting for, that might not be available via the auction house. And you know, the house rules might be over at that point. So make sure you guys go get yourself this Tom Brady, spend the 2 ornaments, put them in your binder, use him, you know, or don't, but just have him. Bare minimum, have him, because I think this is an item that is honestly really, really good, and has the potential to be even better if they move the AP and forget to touch what his individual hot route master or any of his other abilities cost. So that's today's video, guys. I know it wasn't a how-to tutorial or a blitz setup or anything crazy, but hopefully you guys don't mind me hopping out of my lane, giving you some MUT player advice. I know people are going to tell me I suck. I'm, you know, whatever. Randall Cunningham's the GOAT. Yes, there are better quarterbacks in the game, but the impact of the AP is the most important thing, and that's why Tom Brady, to me, is a must-own item. So hope you guys liked the video. If you did, make sure you guys give it a thumbs up. Check me out on GridironGameplansgg, twitch.tv/ZanMadden. We'll see you guys with our next video upload. Until then, this is Zan. Get the lab and good luck.